Hey, welcome to another episode of Amp Up Solar Talk. Joining me today is Chris Taylor from Emporia. He's here to talk about the Pro EV Charger and the latest in View energy monitors and how they're helping homeowners take smarter control of their energy use. Hey, if you're watching live, be sure and drop your questions in the chat. We love to hear from you and have you join us in our conversation. Chris, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
We're so glad to have you here. So to kick things off, Chris, tell us a little bit about Emporia and the story behind the company.
Well, the story behind Emporia is our founder set out to solve a problem that he identified, which is as a homeowner, your utility bill comes in every month and you're really not sure where that energy is going. And so that's the original problem that Emporia was built to solve. And that took the form of the Emporia View Monitor, or the View Monitor, and the software behind it that allows users to see where their energy is being used and actually understand and have some control over their utility bill every month.
Okay, so when you know something, then you can deal with it a little bit better. Is that the idea?
Exactly. Yeah. Just take the opacity away from your utility bill and be able to understand where your energy is going and save yourself some money.
Right. Absolutely. I know a lot of us, we don't know what that dryer is pulling. We have no idea how much energy it's using or what we're paying for it. Right.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
to know exactly.
Or have the event where you get that utility bill and it's 2-3 times as much as you thought it was going to be and not know why. Or these days, a lot of utility companies are starting to adjust their pricing based on demand and peak hours, and that can take people by surprise as well. So we help mitigate that and give customers and homeowners the information they need to save money and use their energy intelligently.
Right. I know I've said to myself, I didn't use the air conditioner that much this month.
Sure. Absolutely. We call them power hogs. There's always some power hog that was on that you didn't realize was there.
Right. So you guys also have the EV charger. Talk to me about what an EV charger actually does and how does it differ from simply plugging into a wall outlet?
Sure. So EV charger, at its core, it controls the flow of energy to and from the EV, obviously, but that takes a special negotiation on the part of the charger and the EV. The EV needs to know what it's connected to and what its capabilities are. So if it's connected to a supercharger, it can charge very quickly and it negotiates that power transfer. So that at its core is what an EV charger does. There are EV chargers that can plug into the wall, but there still needs to be an intermediary device that is talking to the EV before that power is sent to the vehicle so that it can be done safely and the vehicle knows what it's getting. The term level 2, which is the chargers that Emporia sells, really defines or means how much energy can be sent from that charger. And so there's a bit of history here. A level 1 charger is a charger that can plug into the wall, but it will only have available to it that much power, which is 15 or 20 amps, depending on your circuit. A level 2 charger will have up to 48 amps available for it, or 11.5 kilowatts is the industry standard term. And so the charger itself is negotiating that power transfer with the vehicle, making sure it's not already full, making sure there's not a problem, making sure it's safe, and then initiating that transfer in a safe and controlled way.
So you're telling me the charger itself has kind of a brain inside itself that determines how much the car battery actually needs.
Exactly. And so does the car. And the car, it really is the car is in control of saying, send me this much power, and it will communicate that to the charger, and the charger will say, I have that much power to send, and then deliver that to the vehicle.
Okay, perfect. Well, behind me, I have I'm calling it the classic. You guys call it your generation 1 or your classic EV charger. And then on my left over here, the white one is the Pro EV charger. Both are level 2 chargers from Emporia. And you just explained that. What might be what sets the Pro apart from the Classic in capability and design?
Sure. So the Classic was our original charger and the first one that we sold, and it is a standard level 2 charger that will charge up to 11.5 kilowatts. And as it was developed, we designed it so that it could be used with the View monitor, which you have in front of you, to be integrated and as part of that home energy management system, but also be able to implement load management features for customers or homeowners that had a power panel that was potentially insufficient to install just a simple level 2 charger. And so we built the software to control that around that Emporia Classic level 2 EV charger. And it still is our most popular product, and it is a great low cost level 2 EV charger that integrates with our other home energy management products like the View. The Pro is a bundled package that is also a level 2 EV charger. It has all of those features, but it comes along with that Emporia View energy monitor, and out of the box is configured to start using that as part of its system. And so it can integrate all of the features provided by the View and the software that comes along with it. And the EV charger is already a part of that. Otherwise, the features are exactly the same. It is 11.5 kilowatts, level 2 charger, bit different form factor, but still a sturdy EV charger product.
So talk to me a little bit more about this smart power management that is provided by the View energy monitors.
Sure. So this is my favorite feature, and I think a lot of our customers' favorite feature. But when a homeowner goes to install an EV charger, that product, or the EV charger at 11.5 kilowatts, is pulling about 48 amps of power. And that's a 60 amp breaker in a power panel or a load center in the home. And that is about as big as a residential breaker that you want in your home, in your power panel, to be delivering to a device. And a lot of older homes or just smaller homes will have a small load center. So something that really is only built to provide 100 amps power maximum continuous, and they're out of space. They don't have room for a 60 amp breaker, and or their service to their home does not have 60 amps to give based on all the other devices connected in their home. So the Emporia View monitor, it uses those two current transformers to connect to the mains of that load center. And it measures the amount of power being delivered from the mains, the utility mains, into the home, and can decide how much power is available to charge the EV. So if you have a EV charger that is actively charging and your home is pulling 50 amps of power, well, you now have a solid 30 amps of continuous power to charge your EV on. When that power usage goes up, say you turn on the dryer, you turn on the air conditioner, the headroom and the amount of power available for the EV charger goes down. The View monitor detects that. It reduces the amount of power being drawn by the EV charger and charges the vehicle with what's available. And so this allows customers, homeowners, to install an EV charger and buy an EV without spending $2,000 or more. In my case, it would be about $5,000 on a panel upgrade just to charge your EV. And so, example, in my home, my wife and I both have EVs, and we're able to do that on our small 100 amp panel from the 1980s because of the View monitor and load management, the Power Smart features.
Okay, so that was a lot of information and you broke it down really great. I want you to step back for me just a little bit and break it down just a little bit simpler for me to tell me when I would want the Pro EV charger based on when I would just need the Classic.
Sure. So if you have a panel that is undersized for installing a EV charger, and an electrician can tell you this, or if you're know about your panel and what you have in your home, you might be able to decide that on your own. Basically, if your panel doesn't have room for a new breaker for your EV charger device, or you don't have enough service from the utility for another 60 amps or another 48 amps continuous, as it were, then you want to go with the Pro, because that will come along with the Emporia View monitor. It installs essentially non-contact. You don't have to tap into the mains or anything into your home panel, and you will get the load management features with the Pro out of the box. With the classic charger, the charger is the only thing that comes along in the box, and the View can be configured to work with it. It's just a lot simpler to get the Pro all at once if you have that undersized panel and need those load management features.
Right. Okay. So that makes sense. Now, you also have a View with 16. I'm losing the word for these.
Current transformers,
16
CTs. Yeah.
Current transformers, CTs, and you can also get them with 8. When would you decide which one of those you needed?
Sure. So one of the things I haven't mentioned, the Emporia there has those 2 current transformers, and that is just for measuring the mains. So to use the Power Smart features of the EV charger, that's all the user needs. That's what comes with the Pro. For the View as a product in and of itself, it is a full home energy management system that can attach to every branch circuit in your load center at home. So all of the breakers and all of the circuits that you have in your home can be connected to the Emporia, up to 16 circuits. And so the View product can be purchased by itself to do that, as you said, with 8 current transformers or 16 current transformers included. Customers would want to use the 8 transformers or 16 transformers based on how many circuits they want to measure. So in a small panel home like mine, I only need 8. I've left a couple off, like the living room, because it's just a couple of lights. In other homes, I've seen customers using multiple Views, so 32 current transformers. So they have 2 Views, both with 16 transformers, because they'll have multiple boxes. If they have 200 amp panels, they've actually set it up with up to 32, and that will scale with as many View products as you'd like.
And are those just for monitoring, or is that for load management as well?
So those are just for monitoring. The branch circuits work with our software on our phone app, and the app will take a look at your energy usage and provide insights and recommendations, as well as allow the customer to sign up for energy programs with their utilities in their area if those are available. And so that is really the original problem that Emporia wanted to solve, is you connect to each circuit in your house and you know where that power is going, and the app is able to recommend or point out what circuits are being power hogs, using more than is expected, or contributing to your energy bill more than it should be.
So giving more power to the homeowner is always good. Giving more visibility to them for sure. We do have a lot of audience questions we'll get to, and then I want to get back to the EV chargers.
Sure thing.
Walter wants to know, is the charger UL listed?
Yes, absolutely. UL listed under everything we could think to UL listed under. So
Perfect.
It has, of course, all of its leakage fault detection and its self-tests that it runs through. They're very strict about that, and not just UL. But yes, it is absolutely UL listed, as safe as we can make it.
Very nice. And Binary says, is there an open API for Emporia EV chargers such that we can use open source software such as Home Assistant to control it?
Not yet, but we're working on it. We do have a partner portal. We can partner with organizations to utilize the data that is coming from that device. And if you are enterprising, you may be able to find some ways that users have been able to tap into those APIs, but we do not have an official supported open API. That is something we have our eye on, though.
Okay. Walter also wants to know, what's the difference between the new Emporia Pro EV charger and the older model? I think we've addressed that one. Ron Lencioni says, if we have this hooked up to the Grid Boss, how does the CTs work, and or where should they be installed?
Okay, I think if I'm understanding the question correctly, the two CTs that you have in front of you there are 200 amp maximum current transformers, and they just clip around the mains input, the service input to the house. So right above, in my case, they come into the box into a 100 amp main breaker. They clip around those. So it is where that service comes in. Sometimes, depending on your layout, if you have a meter main, that can be a little bit trickier, and those current transformers that you have in front of you won't fit for when customers have a bus bar situation or something like that. We do have flexible current transformers for customers with that situation. But to answer the question, that is at the service entrance, and the way it works is it measures. It is aware. The View has programmed with the maximum current that your panel should be pulling. So in my case, 100 or 200, whatever that is, you enter that when you configure the device, and it will monitor that current draw at the mains. And if it gets within 80% of its maximum, it then tells an EV charger to start to derate. This also, I know that this wasn't part of the question, but I'd like to mention, this enables a solar only charging feature as well. So if a customer has a solar system, as well as the View and Emporia charger system installed, those mains current transformers can detect if the solar system is pushing more than the customer is drawing. So if the home is drawing less than the solar is providing, you can configure your EV charger to only charge when there is that excess solar. And that is enabled by having those current transformers connected to the mains as well.
Very nice. He does say he already has the View on his existing panels, and so those work very nicely together, I assume?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So if a customer has an existing View that's already installed and they want to connect the classic EV charger and use those PowerSmart features, they can absolutely do it. It's another step. You'll have to contact our customer service to get that set up, but that is definitely doable. No need to buy anything else or have anything else installed other than the EV charger, of course.
Okay. Ron, I hope we answered your question. If there's something that we didn't answer that you still have, please clarify that for us. Mark Hovis says, I'm excited about future bidirectional chargers. Number one, will your design integrate with my existing EG4 GridBoss smart ports? And number two, will it integrate with my existing bidirectional capable EV?
Oh, okay. So we may not have to have another episode if we really want to talk about this. So Emporia is in the process of developing a bidirectional EV charger currently as a partnership with Honda. We plan to release it next year. That is pretty cutting edge.
Secrets, are you?
What's that?
Not giving away any secrets, are you?
No, we've shown this at shows and things, so we're open about it. I'm very excited of it. It is what I work on the most. But that is a totally new product for us and a totally kind of new technology. The classic and pro chargers that we're talking about today won't do bidirectional. Right now, bidirectional needs to be done for the most part over DC power, and meaning there needs to be another inverter in the box and makes it much larger. That is the current state of things. The Cybertruck, I believe, is the only EV that I know of, maybe a couple more, that will do it bidirectional in an AC fashion. Right now, we will not. Obviously, the Classic and the Pro will not integrate into those an AC bidirectional situation. But for the vehicles that are coming out in 2026, starting with the 2026 line of Honda vehicles, our bidirectional charger will integrate with that. And then I think there was a question about the exact what the DC Boss, something I mentioned. I wasn't familiar. I'm not familiar with that. Is that a inverter? Is that a?
It's
control
a
system? I'm sorry. Oh, a mid. Oh, okay. At the time of release, we will not integrate with that third-party mid. For ATS and mid switches, we will be building in integrations for as many as we can possibly build into that customers are using. However, our bidirectional product that we are developing right now does have its own internal mid. So it will have a grid input port and a critical loads panel port, and an internal mid that will disconnect the critical loads panel from the grid. Third-party mid devices, we will be integrating as we continue to develop the product. I'm glad there are questions about this. This is great.
Yeah, very nice. So Matt Felson wants to know, he says, I have an EG4 18 kPV and Wallbox Pulsar Plus charger. Can that integrate with any Emporia products to charge only with excess solar and not pull from the grid or battery?
No, the Emporia View home monitor system really only works with Emporia products. We'd be open to a collaboration like that, but right now it is just the Emporia product. The two devices have to be able to talk to each other, and right now we don't. The View monitor doesn't talk to any other non-Emporia devices.
Okay. Binary says, following up on the open source question, is it possible to take the EV charger completely off the internet? Would the charger be required to be connected to the internet?
In order to use the PowerSmart, the load management features, the EV charger will need to be connected to the internet. That's how they communicate. In order to use the EV charger just as a charger, no, it does not need to be connected to the internet. It is not going to be able to utilize the automations, app functions that are provided by the Emporia app, but out of the box, you can plug it in and it will work as a 40 amp wall charger, a level 2 EV charger without being connected to the internet.
So if my Wi-Fi goes out, I can still charge my car.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that works with load management is if your Wi-Fi goes out, if connection is lost, the device needs to keep things safe and not overload your panel. And so when the device is configured with PowerSmart, the installer will configure it with a minimum amount of current that it can supply. So when the house is using very little power, it can provide 48 amps. If it loses connection to PowerSmart, it loses connection to that View monitor monitoring the power from the house, it will fail safe and default to the minimum amount of power it knows it can draw. Say if it's set to 10 amps and it knows it always has 10 amps available, it will default down to that 10 amps until that connection is reestablished.
Is that something that the homeowner can set or is that just its default?
Oh, that is something the installer should be setting.
Okay.
The installer will take a look at the panel and say, this is how much how much minimum current this panel can provide. If there's more available, the View monitor will negotiate that. If the connection to that View monitor is lost, it defaults to what that installer has set as a minimum safe level.
Okay, perfect. Greg says, does the Emporia charger charge any EV vehicle?
Yes. Yeah, short answer is yes. Every now and then we would find some older vehicle that wouldn't work with our particular protocol, but we make an over-the-air update and adjust to that. So yeah, it'll charge what you have.
Okay. Now I know that there's is it J1772?
That's right.
Connection here. And I've heard a lot of talk about the NACS connector. Talk to me about the NACS and how Emporia, explain what that is and how Emporia is adapting to that.
Certainly. So right now, our Classic and Pro models both come with J1772 or NACS connectors. NACS stands for North America Charging Standard, and the connector and the standard was originally created by Tesla for their cars, and that is the standard that Tesla superchargers use. And Tesla very shrewdly opened that standard up to other companies to use and renamed it the North American Charging Standard. And so there is a statement from Tesla that they are not going to be territorial about the use of this standard in other products. And what that gets the user is the ability to buy third-party devices with that NACS connector on it. So you can charge your Tesla with one of these if you like. But also automakers can now install that NACS receptacle on their automobiles, and those automobiles can use Tesla superchargers. And so as of the last time I checked, I think all but one of the legacy auto manufacturers had made a statement that they would be supporting NACS moving forward. Because it was Tesla specific, most of the EVs you'll get in the past were J1772, which used CHAdeMO for the fast charging. If folks are familiar with that, that's something like you'd have on your Nissan Leaf. Moving forward, most automakers are going to move to that North American charging standard. And so Emporia offers both in our product line. And so we will continue to offer J1772 as it is phased out, if it does totally phase out.
Okay, very good. Dre Morse wants to know, how is the View powered inside my panel?
Oh, great question. So you can install the View, or actually the way the View is installed is the sensors are non-contact and just clipped over the breakers, the lines going from the breakers to the house circuit. That's how they measure. That is no disconnection. The main way that people power the View inside is there is a special wiring harness and some wire nuts. So those can be connected directly to an open breaker without anything in it, which a lot of panels will have an extra breaker that wasn't used at the time of install. Or we provide in the kit wires and wire nuts so that the user can tap into an existing circuit. So essentially it becomes another device on your circuit, but it's just plugged directly into the breaker.
Okay. Greg says, can I monitor charging cost and energy usage through the Emporia app for my specific vehicle?
Absolutely. And that's pretty much what it was designed for. So you can do that not just with your specific vehicle, but any circuit in the home. So there is the ability to configure the cost from your particular utility provider and see how much each of your circuits, including your EV charger and EV, are costing you. I check mine every day. I spend, depending on the day, about $2 to $3 in charge for my vehicle. And so I track that pretty closely. It's fun.
Speaking of, you said just a few minutes back, you said you and your wife both have EV vehicles. Talk to me a little bit about power sharing and the ability that your EV chargers have with that. What does power sharing mean? So
power sharing is a feature that we just released. Our software team is just released it, and we're very proud of it. That is the ability to connect two EV chargers to a single circuit. So once again, we like to support customers that may have an undersized panel, or we want to save them the cost of a panel upgrade. So if you have a panel that has room maybe for only one breaker or one EV charger and you need a panel upgrade for a second one, the load sharing feature allows customers to connect two of our EV chargers to a single circuit, and then it will do a similar thing to Power Smart or load management. It will share the available current, the available power from the panel among two EVs. So if you only have 60 amps to give and you plug in two EVs, it will split it 30 and 30. If you remove one, it'll give that 60 back to the single EV and charge both EVs as fast as the available power will allow. And so it'll do that automatically. And so customers can configure that and buy two EV chargers and only have to have the one circuit that they can both work on.
Very nice. I like that feature. BY wants to know, if I have two different breaker panels in separate locations, can I buy two Emporia Views and they communicate over Wi-Fi as one unit?
They would not communicate as one unit. but they would integrate in the app. So there would be two View devices, and what you would see is circuits. So if you connect to one panel on one part of your house and another panel, say in an alternative dwelling unit, what comes up in your app is just a set of circuits. Let's say you have 30 circuits, you name what those are in the app, and then you see those across. So in terms of the app and how you utilize and monitor the power, it appears as though you just have one monitoring system with two components.
Okay. And Jay Williams says, can you sync the Pro with solar production to charge only when solar is producing sufficient current?
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, that's solar only charging, and it uses those mains connectors to see if the solar is starting to push energy back out. As soon as those go negative, it will say, okay, use whatever surplus power that is generating to charge my vehicle. And you can set that to start and stop at different times a day. You can set, and you can control any transfer like that through the app, even without solar. You can set it to charge only at night, when prices are low, whatever works for you. So that's one of the powerful things about the automation in the app.
Yeah, very nice. Walter says, hey, can I install it myself for the warranty, or do I need a licensed electrician?
For the warranty, we have our warranty, and if it is installed and something goes wrong with it, it is covered. As an official statement, you should always have a qualified installer install this unit. As an unofficial statement, I, as a private citizen, installed mine myself, no problem. But make sure whoever is installing this understands the load center and what they're looking at and how to keep themselves safe. If official statement, always have a qualified professional installer install the View monitor system. Now,
addressing that, there are two options for installing this, right? There's a hardwired option and then a plug-in option. One's 40 amp, one's 48 amp. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So the suggested way, recommended way from not just us, but probably your electrician, if you have an electrician install your EV charger, is to hardwire this device, the EV charger, directly into a panel. And so what that's going to be is our product would come with a wire whip coming out of it that you could wire together in a junction box with the connection to your panel. And the user's panel would have a 60 amp breaker inside of it. It would connect to that 60 amp breaker, and that would provide 48 amps. The reason it's 48 amps and not 60 is it's standard install practice to derate 20% if you are pulling a continuous power. So 28 being 20% less than 60 amps. If the customer wants to plug in, they're going to plug into what is called a NEMA 1450 receptacle. This is a standard 240 volt, 50 amp receptacle that you would find in a home, something you might plug your welder or a large dryer into. And these receptacles are very common and have been around since before EV chargers. You can find them at the hardware store, but they are rated to 50 amps continuous. And so if you have one of these available in your home, it is rated to 50 amps. We once again will derate our device, it's standard practice, 20%, so that it's pulling 40 amps continuous. And even then, using a NEMA plug, the user wants to be careful to make sure that they have a plug that is up to date and suitable for that continuous pull, because a lot of these plugs were built and installed in homes before EV chargers, and something that even could pull 40 amps continuous is going to be installed in the home. So both of those options are available in our product, and that's why they're different levels, is because that connector has its own requirements.
Gotcha. Okay. Binary says, you mentioned the View sensors that work with the EV charger doesn't work without internet. How would this work in completely off-grid setups where a public internet connection is not reliable?
So the View and EV charger are always going to talk over a cloud connection. That is how they communicate. So the answer to that question is you need internet connectivity to be able to utilize that feature. That being said, the EV charger will always work as a standard EV charger without that connection, but because the View and that load management feature both require a cloud connection, and that's how they communicate, that's going to be a requirement for that scenario. For now.
Great.
We have it in a feature list that we're working on, but I wouldn't make any promises about it yet.
Sounds good. As EV ownership continues to grow, how do you see Emporia's technology evolving to meet homeowners' changing needs?
Oh, well, the big answer to that is our bidirectional charger product.
Yeah.
The future, we think, and we're betting, of EVs and home energy management, or a big part of that future, will be the ability to use an EV as a battery resource in the home. So rather than just a motor vehicle, or a vehicle rather, it becomes an asset like a wall battery, like a solar system that the user homeowners can use to save money on their energy. And we believe those energy costs are going to keep going up and become more complex. Automate against, use with a larger home energy management system, and be able to not only pull and decide when to pull energy from the grid or solar, but also when to push and power the home from the EV, even when the grid is up, in order to manage and save money on utility costs and really reduce your energy consumption if that is something that's important to you.
Well, Chris, Emporia is doing great things, and we appreciate you being here and sharing about the EV chargers and the View energy monitors. We appreciate that these products truly do give visibility and control and flexibility to the homeowner. That's something that here at Signature Solar, we're really passionate about as well. So thanks for sharing that with us today. Appreciate that.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah. To our viewers, thanks so much for tuning in. If you'd like to learn more about the Emporia products that we've discussed today and more, visit us at signaturesolar.com. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Facebook at Signature Solar US so you never miss an episode. And we'll see you next time right here on Amp Up Solar Talk.